Welcome to the show that your parents, the PTA and the asleep don't want you to hear. The Helios blog. Today you asked and here it is. How to talk to girls.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
I want to let you know, you guys, you are smart. I love the fact I can sit here and talk to you every single day. Saw what I did there? That's psychological priming. You probably felt good. Which, by the way, I truly mean that. But the point is, I just primed the
Bullshit.
conversation by creating a positive environment and adding positive context. You want to know how powerful priming is? You can prime people to be rude or polite. They found it in this study where they took 3 groups of people. One group was deciphering words that were rude, like bold, aggressive, disturbed. The second group was neutral. They were deciphering words that really didn't mean anything. And the third group was deciphering words that were polite, like patient and respectful. Then the researchers had them all wait. Within 10 minutes, 60% of the group that was working in the rude vocabulary interrupted the researchers, whereas the other 2 groups were way more patient. Well, you're gonna use priming with her and you're gonna start it through text. I want you to frame yourself as the perfect match and don't do it in a needy way, do it in a flirty way. Here's an example text. Have you ever just met somebody and almost immediately start to feel insanely comfortable, like you've known this person forever? Because that's kind of what I'm feeling right now.
Oh my god, that's so bad. Please, never do this. Girls hate this crap. No, terrible advice. Oh my god. Okay, so this guy doesn't know how to teach people to get laid. Understood. This is too needy. Again, guys, the medium is the message. Okay? So, when you're messaging a girl, that's not at all what you say. You're just going to say something like, you're going to ask some kind of question, right? And the question is going to be like, you know, some sort of opinion type question, or you're going to go like, guess what, you know, question mark. And the point is, you're just trying to capture the girl's interest. If you're on online dating, right, every guy messages the same crap. So if you message that needy crap like you're beautiful or whatever, or you message a wall of text like this guy, she will 100% decline, because that's not how you're supposed to message. If she's interested in you, she'll actually reply to the guess what text, and then you're already in. And your goal is within 3 messages to ask for the meetup. You want to set up a meetup, some sort of coffee date. You're not texting girls for hours. So this is crap. But with regards to psychological priming, you do that with your you know, with your attitude on the first date, right? So, you know, your body language, the way you're unconcerned, the timing of the date, it should only last 30 minutes, the length of conversation, and so on. These things are the key. Your first date should be short and cut off by you, and then set up the second date within 2 days of the first date and try to have bedroom fun then. This is to get away to get away from cold feet type thing, you know, where the girl's like, I am attracted to you, but I don't want to look like a garden tool, so I'm not going to sleep with you on the first date type thing.
Cool. Send a text message. It's super light, but now you got her primed thinking,
It's not light.
this guy the one. Then when you
No, that's not what girls think like. Come on.
for the date, I want you to keep the same energy. Again, it's playful, it's flirty, you're not being serious. You could be in the middle of the day, be something like, so what are we naming our 3 kids? She's gonna
This works. That actually works. Yes.
laugh, she might even open up a little bit, give you the actual name she wants. But now she's thinking, wait a minute, this guy's husband material. I'm not gonna lie to you boys, I use this exact same line on my wife. I'm 2 kids in, I'm just saying. Okay, so now you've primed her and you got her in the right mindset, but that's not enough to never run out of things to say. That's where tips 2 through 5 will get you. 2, I want you to use stories to respond to questions. The reason you run out of things to say is because every time she asks you a question, you immediately just say yes, no. Instead, I need you to harness people's imagination through the power of storytelling. Research suggests that stories are easier to understand and more engaging than just logical responses. Let's take a boring example. It could be the weather, the traffic, the party, whatever. Let's take the weather, right? Everybody says, wow, the weather's been really good today, right? It's the usual line everyone goes to because they have nothing to say, and then you respond with something like, yes, it is. There you go. End of conversation. But I instead want you to respond with a story. So let's run it again. Let's say she says something like,
the weather's been really nice lately.
yes, it has, and it's actually been allowing me to spend more time outside. I recently picked up long distance running, almost like marathon running.
Oh, so what this guy is describing is called DHV, a demonstrate higher value, right? So you're using the conversation as an excuse for you to give information about yourself that shows that you're better than other men. This also works. This is a real thing. So if you're on a date, you're going to want to tell stories. And here's the thing. Our stories should not include exes. Our stories should not include sad sob stories. Every story you tell should make you look good. That's the point. So you're going to say something like, you know, let's say you're talking and, you know, you're drinking coffee, whatever, you're talking, and then she says something like, the weather's been good today. It's like, yeah, it's been really cold, and you know, usually when I'm at martial arts, you know, like you know, I'm indoors, so I'm allowed, I'm able to train whatever weather. And then she'll be like, oh, you do martial arts, and then bam, you go into the, so you can like non sequitur your stories to be related to like stuff you do. Oh, yeah, normally I go rock climbing outside, but you know, with the way the weather's been, I can't really grab onto the rocks very well, so I've been going to my gym. And then she'll be like, oh, you do rock climbing, and so on. That sort of thing. The other way you can talk to girls is like this. She says something, and you know, you're going to ask leading questions like, so what have you been up to this week? You know, and then she's going to say something like whatever it is. Oh, I walked my dog on Tuesday. We walked some trail. Oh, you have a dog? What kind of dog is it? And then bam, she's gonna repeat that back to you, and then you can be like, oh, I find this dog to be annoying. I like this dog. Like, how come you got that dog? And so on. And then on and on. Basically, what you're doing is you're reflecting her emotions back at her, and reflecting those emotions back at her makes her think that you're a good conversationalist, and then the conversation continues. It also allows you to collect data. Girls will always tell on themselves eventually, and you can use that to figure out red flags, which can help you to prevent issues with girls down the line.
Running to parts of the city I've never even seen. I feel like I'm going on a mini vacation every time I step outside.
No.
Super relaxed.
Not like that.
Simple,
Not like that.
oh, the weather's great. Went from boring.
Not like that. Not like that.
Weather to something you both have in common. To a
Especially not in text. You never quad text a girl. Never.
story about the weather to now asking her what she likes to do for fun. You can literally do this with anything. 3. Ask why 3 times. The deeper you get into a conversation, the more connected she's going to feel to you. You also will never run out of things to say because now you have a mental goal to always ask why 3 times for any topic she brings up. Here's how you use it practically. Let's say you're in conversation with her and she says something basic like,
I've been loving reading these books recently. I feel like it's my escape.
Your first why can be, why do you feel like you need an escape? She'll probably say something like,
because my job's so stressful.
Your second why is your job so stressful? She'll probably then go deeper and say,
my boss always nags me. I don't do anything right. I just wish I was my own boss.
Your third why can then be, well, why aren't you your own boss? Why don't you try starting something yourself?
Again, I don't like asking why 3 times. It gets repetitive. You should actually not ask why. You bounce off that point to ask the question, right? So whatever point that she brings up, you know, oh, I like walking my dog. You're doing like cold reading. So, you know, the weather's been really nice, and you know, what have you done this week? You know, did you do something fun? And she's like, oh yeah, I walked my dog at the trail, you know, yesterday. Oh, you have a dog. So that must mean you like walking. Because, you know, dogs, you have to walk dogs a lot, right? You see what I'm saying? You're making an assumption based on what she told you related to the topic that she told you, right? Or, you know, she'll say something like, yeah, I was at the gym and I lifted some weights. Oh, that must mean you're very patient. It takes a lot of effort to get results at the gym. And then it's a compliment, but it's a double compliment, but it's also not a normal compliment that guys would give a girl, right? Do you see what I'm saying? You cold read something about her based on what she told you, and then she'll think that you're insightful and she'll continue the conversation like that, rather than asking why 3 times.
This is essentially called conversational branching, where you'll get a topic of conversation and then branch out and out and out. The more whys you ask, getting deeper and deeper into different topics of conversation, getting to know her more. And each one of those are conversations where you can also branch out of. Essentially, never running out of things to talk about. 4, use objects around you to make your conversation better. This is called multimodal communication. You have to recognize that communication extends beyond just the words you say, such as visuals, your gestures, props, things you wear. So how do you use it? I want you to narrow it down to 3 things. Body language. You're going to use this to bring your message to life, make it more entertaining. Social status cues. This is like your watch, your clothes, your glasses. These increase your social appeal and increase your social status. And 3, space. You're going to use space to increase attraction the closer you get. Let me give you a visual example of this. Imagine a guy that has constrictive body language. He's nervous, so he's all tight. He's wearing a hoodie, right? And he's about 10 feet away from that girl. Now imagine a second guy. Guy has open body language. He's making the message better. He has a nice white button down, a watch on his wrist. He also is about 3 to 5 feet away from her. Which one's a more compelling conversation? 5, I want you to laugh to emotionally manipulate her into thinking she's having...
Okay. That's bullshit, number 5. But anyway, and what he was describing was, you know, DHV again. But I would be wary of this. Don't overdress on the first date, because she's going to assume that you have more money than you have, and then she's going to assume that you're a beta male that's going to pay for everything. So you have to be wary of this, right? Although confidence and your body language should be open, and but you don't actually smile all the time. Smiling all the time makes you look weak. She should smile more than you is the key.
A great time. This is called emotional contagion. Emotions can be contagious, and others are more likely to...
Actually, this is not true. But it is a green flag. If she's mirroring your emotions, whatever they are, then... But this is not... You don't laugh to make her laugh. No. A girl tends to be a hell yes for you when she mirrors your emotional state. If you're happy, she's happy. If you're down, she's down. If you're middle, she's middle. That's how you can tell. You shouldn't be the first one to laugh, because again, what that shows to her is that you're uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable on the date, she's not attracted to you. You should be calm and still. She should be fidgety and laughy. This is also wrong.
To resonate with your message if they are in a positive mindset. In other words, when you approach with a smile...
No. It's not about this. It's more like you should not tell negative stories. You should tell positive and funny stories. That'll put her in the kind of mood that you want.
She's more likely to smile back. We as humans will mimic facial expressions of emotions we see. Usually this
Women that are into you will mimic you. Women that are not into you may not necessarily mimic you. And you shouldn't have fake smiley body language to get them to mimic you. It's not the way to go.
Copying or mimicry happens within milliseconds, and it's subconscious. You don't even realize you're doing it. Okay? So how do you apply it? How do you use it? Whenever you approach, make sure you come with a smile and open body language. Through emotional contagion, she will also smile and open up her body language.
No, this works for men talking to men, but not for men talking to women, actually. Men talking to women is a different type of approach. You should have understated body language, but be strong. You know, like strong, upright, open body language, but understated emotional expression on your face. Like a poker face is better. Or a slight smile or a coy smile on a guy, rather than a big, open, aggressive smile. But again, that does depend on your personal style as well. Gregarious can work, but it tends to attract the wrong kind of girl in my experience.
Which will put her in a positive mood. She will then be tricked into thinking she's having a great time with. Then, as you deploy any of the conversational tricks I've already taught you, you got it. Okay, so now you know how to keep a conversation going. But your ultimate goal is make her want to come back and continue to talk to you. You want her to want more, to send you that first text message, to call you first. And to do that, this last one's important. Number 6, do not give up everything. When she asks you a question, try to avoid being an open book. For example, let's say she asks you something like,
What are your favorite hobbies?
a traditional response would be something like, well, I spend all my time either in the gym, jujitsu, or playing video games. Congratulations. You have now told her everything and have run out of things to say.
Yeah, you should do something like, you know, I'm a man of many talents. You see? And then she's going to ask you something. Okay, like, what do you do for fun? Well, I've done martial arts for a long time, and then on we go. And then you can do the DHV stories.
This is what happens every single time. And now she has no curiosity to continue digging further. The conversation is dead. So let's try this again. Let's say she asks you, what are your hobbies? Your response could be something like, well, one of my hobbies is jujitsu. I started this journey about a year ago. It's been the best year of my life. The amount of mental clarity and humility that you experience being around other men that could quite literally beat you up, but also...
No. That's a demonstration of lower value. You're telling her that other men are better than you in the environment you're in. You need to be... No. That's not the way to go at all. But you would say something like, the mental clarity you experience doing jiu-jitsu is great. Also knowing that if somebody were to attack me, I could literally break their arm if I wanted. It's a powerful thing, right? So it's not giving away that there's people better than you that, like, no. And then she'll be like, whoa, this guy can break another man's arm? Wow. Because girls want a guy who can protect them and ultimately their children.
Also have respect for it, and it's an art form, has been one of my favorite hobbies for me recently. Now she's...
Okay. Let's continue.
Now, you'll no doubt have heard that kind of advice pretty often. Just be yourself when it comes to talking to girls. Or if you're a girl, you might have heard this advice when talking to guys, but that's less common because I think most people who are of age know that sort of 90% of the thing it takes to be a girl to attract guys is just how you look. And that's just the
literally
frank, God honest truth meant with no value judgments whatsoever. But with the guys, it works a little bit differently. And the thing about this advice of, well, just be yourself, is that it's almost always very well meant and has massive grains of truth to it. But is it the best advice? And in the sense of, like, does it help you succeed connecting with folks on an attraction level?
No. And we know this. Just be yourself is bullshit advice. It's what you tell, like, a little kid, who's crying. But ultimately, that isn't what women are looking for. Women are looking for greatness. They're looking for competitiveness. They're looking for taller, stronger, faster, smarter, bigger, better, more money, more friends, more charismatic. That's what they're looking for. Money, status, looks, effectively.
As well as possible. And my take is, while there are big grains of truth to it that we're absolutely going to absorb here in this little video chat, a more nuanced look can reveal how to modify this advice slightly to enhance the effect even more. So let's dig into this a little bit. First, we got to do a quick review of how attraction works. When males are attracted to females, it's usually, though not wholly, purely physical initial attraction that matters the most. Face, teeth, mouth, eyes, body, hair, that sort of thing. And it's completely subconscious. You don't have to point out anything you like about a girl. As a matter of fact, when you do like a girl or are attracted, a lot of times you have to review the subconscious processing, the feeling of attraction, and be like, why do I like her? Your buddies will be like, dude, why you like that girl? And you're like, it's just a sensation you get. So it all happens really, really, really quickly. And the looks are a big deal. Now, personality and social vibe play a role for guys being attracted to girls, but a highly secondary one. In fact, I would say those vibes and personality, social interaction things play a much bigger role for girls ascending in their attraction from you're a person I want to hook up with to you're a person I'm already hooking up with, will you be my girlfriend?
Indeed. So the secondary characteristics are what determine whether a girl gets a boyfriend or husband or not, which is why many girls in 2024 don't actually get there and they stay in the quote-unquote talking stage forever because they don't know how to provide value that men are actually attracted to.
A perennial problem that very physically attractive, though girls that
annoying
may not have focused on their deeper qualities run into is it's no problem for them to take any guy home from the bar they want, even the guys that are awesome and have careers and they're confident and intelligent and have all the best intentions. But they'll complain like, nobody wants to date me. Like, I'm just like a hookup buddy and everyone always abandons me. And it's like, yeah, Stacy, that's because they ain't none to you, bitch. And because guys will like you initially based on your looks, but then you'll never make it to stage 2 of actual girlfriend material. That's how it works for females. So if you're female and you happen to accidentally stumble into this video, I'm not sure why you would, all jokes, then you definitely, if you want to attract as many guys as possible of the highest quality, you got to take, optimize your physical appearance and presentation. But once you're dating a guy or once you're on multiple dates or once you're chatting and vibing, then it's important for you to have those secondary qualities of attraction at that point, I mean, of much deeper value. Are you intelligent? Do you have a sense of humor? Do you have cool values? Are you actually a decent person? That stuff is what's going to get you married, engaged, girlfriended, engaged, and married if you would.
Right, exactly.
Like, or just at least a lot of really awesome relationships.
Very well stated.
That's where that shit kicks in. But right up front, it's pretty much almost all physical. However, with females, it's really not even in reverse, but the psychosocial is right up front as a guy, what you're number one being judged on. The physical stuff is way more minor. Girls generally look for you to be taller than average, though if you have enough riz, that also doesn't fucking matter. And they're generally looking for you to look not like Harry Potter aged, like a man in some capacity, and you just take up some space and you're damn near 80% of the way with girls. And if you have a super awesome fit body, that definitely helps, but it's just helping a little. Whereas how you interact psychosocially with girls is really front and center. Why do I make a fine point of this? Mostly because the rest of the talk is how to talk to girls and not how to look presentable for girls, but also because a lot of guys have a guy's theory of mind. Just as a reminder, theory of mind.
So they assume that because for a guy to find a girl attractive, she has to be prime physical condition. They think that for girls to find them attractive, they have to be prime physical condition and don't look at the secondary characteristics as being that important. I understand. And it's funny because when he says riz, what he means is knowing how to talk, knowing how to be confident, saying all the right things but not saying too much, right? Having things in your life that are more important than her, treating her as not the top priority, treating your mission as the top priority. These sort of things are what women find attractive. Ultimately, they're the things that fuse you into a protector-provider fusion, which is the ideal man. He's like the prince in the stories that women want to marry, right? That women want to have children with. That's who you want to be, the archetypal prince. So you're from a good family, you have high resources, you are physically fit, you are confident, you have a social network of important people, and so on, right? That's the idea.
Mind is something that sentient beings have, and it's your ability to look at some other sentient, intelligent being like another person and be able to make a reasonable estimate, or at least have a gut feeling about what are they thinking. Like, if you see a person walking down the street. You're just looking at them from third-person perspective, and a dog goes, and they go, ugh. You can theory of mind intuit that they were scared for a second, right? They have all the features, and you would also have been scared had the dog jumped out at you. Theory of mind mostly works on an implication of, they probably think about things similarly to how I do. The trouble is when guys bring that into relations with trying to attract girls, they think about becoming attractive to girls like they think they would want a girl to be attracted to them. Like, well, what would I do in this scenario? In other words, if I was the girl that was judging me, what would I want out of me?
Right, but not understanding that men and women are different and are looking fundamentally for different things. Exactly. That's right. Women are looking for winners. Men that are better than other men in every respect. Taller, fitter, stronger, faster, smarter, more charismatic, more money, better friends, better house, all that sort of thing.
Which is why a lot of guys are looking into fashion, they're at the gym, they're looking at their hair, which is all good stuff, but then they don't work on their interactive style. And the thing is, girls give much more of a fuck about your interactive style, but like, if there's a super hot girl that you're trying to hit on and her interactive style is a bit weird, she don't give a fuck. You're on the same game anyway. Who gives a shit? Because you're trying to get that you-know-what, and it doesn't really matter how they act. Now, if she's trying to become your girlfriend, that shit matters, but nobody thinks about it that way as a guy, or very few people. So we have to take and alter our theory of mind as guys to ask the question of what do girls tend to prefer as a method of interacting with them that we may be able to optimize about. So when females are attracted to males, another pattern altogether is followed. First, there's two things here. First, in most cases, females need to become comfortable around you in order for you to be allowed into that realm of attraction.
Right, which is why I always give the advice of you don't try to get laid on the first date, you try to get laid on the second date, because first you're breaking that, I don't want to look like I'm a lady of the night, I'm a lady, I don't do that kind of thing. You're trying to break away from that. You're trying to push that to the side so that you don't have to worry about it.
And then secondly, they need to become attracted to you. Very important that it's two parts. We'll get to that in a little bit. Now, there are definitely hookups you can have with girls in which the female is excited about the danger of being around you because you're mysterious and sort of maybe not safe, but it's always a maybe not safe, and at the end of the day safe. It's hardly ever like she feels actually afraid.
Right. So like she's intimidated by you because you're big and strong, but she knows ultimately by how you talk that you're a normal guy. Like you would protect her, not kill her, right? Even though you could if you wanted to. That's the whole thing. That's the dichotomy of women that's scary, right? For them, is that the only men that they ever find attractive are men that could ultimately hurt them. But those men need to be normal enough that they would never hurt them. They would use that ability to hurt to protect them, you see? And that's the scary thing. A woman prefers a dangerous man that does hurt her to a loser that could never protect her. I hope that makes sense. That's why women are much more okay with A-word relationships than being with beta males.
This is like scary movies and people that like them. The fact that the zombies are behind a screen is what makes it just scary enough to be exciting. But if there's real zombies, I promise you wouldn't like the situation and you would be screaming for real, and running the fuck away. So right. Females, it turns out, tend to require comfort to be built with them for attraction to unfold for at least two reasons, and probably a few other more minor ones. They need to feel safe. This isn't conscious, but subconsciously, there's an evolutionary implication. You can think of women in a game theoretic evolutionary sense, females of reproductive age, as immortality generators. They take the genes that you have as a male that want to survive to the next generation, are very mortal, predictably mortal, without access to female reproductive resources. And with access to a functioning female uterus, they can be replicated, as many babies as you can have through a Paleolithic lifespan, and voila. And so because females know intuitively that they have something very valuable inside of them, they know that men who are quite unscrupulous will try to access it with consent or without. And women generally highly prefer consent because they want to screen which men they let in and out, because otherwise they're just random gene selection is fucking stupid. They want the most fit men. And also they want men that show the kind of qualities that maybe will enhance them sticking around a bit longer and helping raise the children. Again, none of this is conscious, it's entirely subconscious. But as social primates, we're all tailor-made. Almost all of us have all this neural architecture pre-built, pre-trained, from birth all the way to young adulthood. It'll express itself in the same way anyway. So,
love how this guy explains stuff. Shout outs to him. So his name is Mike Israetel. Extremely well spoken man. Yep. Well done. Again, I think we'll do some more videos by this guy, because I really did enjoy what he had to say. All right. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit all the notifications. Buy my books like Hunter M, Adrian R, Tom M, Bobby, Dylan, Renaissance Press, Brian, Andrew, Alan, Armani, and Nicholas. Shout outs to you. Most recent purchase of both my books, Strategist Guide to Seduction and Quotes to Live By. Thank you. If you'd like coaching, message me at theheliosblog@gmail.com. I'll help you to get good with girls. Again, thank you so much for listening, guys, especially if you listen to the end. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.